Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. How are you doing? How are you all doing? Fax 41 says, Daddy, rest now. What are you doing on my life? Jobless Ubuko. What are you doing on my life? I should rest. Are you resting? You can't even rest. Poverty agree you rest. Hunger agree you rest. You are wide awake because you are counting the ceiling in your bedroom, the asbestos, everything low shape POP. When I don't even get money do POP. Now asbestos you still do nothing but better. Daddy free is rest now. Your papa rest, your mama rest. You day my life, they talk nonsense. Come out for here if you want rest, go rest. Carry your mat. Go spread down for veranda so that mosquito no go chop you finish inside heat. As una no kuku get money to buy diesel since everything don't to cost. How person go come your life, the first thing will come out for in a mouth na rest. Person useless, okay? They not use and do ritual. They use and do ritual, go return their money. Bald Winter said he don't do continue job. Now you go tell me to continue. Chop rapture. I not even rapture the person way tell me to rest. You, I go rapture you. As you no one get sense. Let me tell you something. Now me that madness with they some of our body, when our papa, mama put on for our body through DNA. Now me they cure them. You just wake up for morning, compass in life, and decide to be unfortunate. Cross me, make I feel give to you hot. All right, now, yesterday we're having a conversation, and somebody suggested that nurses say many of them get olosho tendency for body. So my question is, what has your experience with nurses been? Are you a nurse? Was your mother a nurse? You sabi any nurse where they do olosho work? If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, tap, tap, tap away. It's so easy. Just tap like this. If you're watching on TikTok, tap away, tap away, tap, 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 tap away. Tap away, tap away, tap away. Oh, they make you guys just stop telling people what to do. There's life. All you have to do is listen and learn. God bless you, brother. Someone said that he freeze those ladies, they run on low key. Pop that money gun. Oh yeah, 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 pop my money guns. Uh-huh. See, I want, if you see, I believe that even among female pastors, Oloshode, even among nuns, Oloshode. So in every job in this life, Oloshode. Sometimes there are some jobs that are more, that have more tendency of being olosho than others. I would be more worried about marketers, real estate people that have close contact with wealthy people than nurses. Someone just popped a money gun. User 1361655 just popped a money gun. God bless you, Godson. So if you are a nurse, Sandy Kano, thanks a lot. Just popped a money gun. La Petite, thank you so much. Just popped a money gun. I would be more worried about women that have contact with men and their money than about nurses. I'll be more worried if my wife was a real estate agent, if my wife was a bank marketer, or if my wife was selling a product that required meeting a lot of men that are of high net worth than nurses. It's my opinion, though I may be wrong. Noah Hoga 11, please forward it to me. I didn't see it. Forward it to me. Someone said female nurses will easily cheat with no remorse. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think, personally, anybody will get to low show, get out for body. So if you are a nurse, send me a request. Please send it to me by DM. All right, we've got somebody here with us live.
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
Hi. Sorry, Daddy, please. I'm just getting back home from work.
Are you a nurse?
Yes, I'm a clinical expert.
Okay, so you came to defend your profession.
Oh, thank God. It's a lot of hard work. How is everybody doing? Hello, everybody. Hold on, let me get into my room and let me put on my clothes. Hold on.
Have you taken them all off, or you are just in your underwear?
I know. Oh, then I'm coming. I gotta put on my clothes. I didn't know you were gonna set this. Just give me a minute. Oh my goodness.
So we're waiting. We're waiting for her to get ready. Made man, you now the kind of thing where you like with this.
Daddy Freeze, I'm not a nurse, so no need.
No, we want to hear your take, even if you are not a nurse. You are a human being. You don't get family will be nurse.
You say what, Daddy Freeze?
I say you are a human being. You don't get family will be nurse.
I have. My auntie is a nurse practitioner. My friends are also.
What I think is flight attendants, private jet flight attendants, real estate marketers.
I am so sorry. I'm just getting home after a 12-hour shift. I am so tired. I was butt naked when I called. I am so sorry, people. I didn't know that the freeze was gonna accept me. I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hi,
Hello. How
hi.
are you doing? So
Um,
tell us about nurses and why do they have such bad publicity?
I mean, nursing is a good profession. Is a very great profession. I've been a nurse for, I'd say, 14 years. Um, I mean, I work so hard, and the people around me work so hard. So I think it's the perception. Is the perception. In different countries, people have their attributes and what they expect. Like when I was in Nigeria, because I'm a Nigerian and I'm from Anambra. When I was in Nigeria, I noticed a lot of dysfunction about our nurses in Nigeria. I am so sorry to use that word. That is why I mentioned about the perception. People are perceived in different continents. Nurses are perceived different here than they are perceived in Nigeria. Probably because when you come to a hospital, they are perceived like they are harsh, they are looking for men, they are atrocious, just like you mentioned, because we are all different people. We are all different people. We are all different people. How I feel about my patient is not how somebody else feels about their patient. And what I do for my patient, I go above and beyond. So you might say that I am flirting with my patient while I am not. I am trying to go above and beyond because I am a human trying to do the work of a nurse, which is, my work is to go above and beyond being a human. So some people, I say they take it wrong. Meanwhile, sometimes it's the patient flirting with us. The patient flirts a lot with us. Like most days, I get like 1,000 husbands. People proposing my patient, somebody who is sick. There was this day my patient got mad because he took my number, and I felt like I needed to give him that number, and he was calling me, and he couldn't get me on phone. He got mad. So if I had given it, people might think I'm a losh or something. But I mean, that's the
But
job.
small day your own body, sha.
That's the job. That's the
But say
job.
no, say small day your body,
That's the
small day
job.
your body. All right, Eve,
Hello?
how are you doing?
Hi,
You dey
hi,
rub,
Daddy
you dey
Freeze.
rub lipstick while we dey watch you.
Ah,
I'm so sorry.
so go wear wig.
Oh yeah, let me hear you. Let me hear your own part of this
Okay.
conversation.
I'm a
What?
registered nurse here.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm working on my doctorate right now. I live in the US. I was never a nurse in Nigeria. I just came here and I became a nurse. I've been a nurse for 17 years. My mother is retired. She's a nurse. She was a nurse. My dad is a medical doctor. So I come from a family of, health practitioners. First, I know that in Nigeria, people used to, there was that stereotype, of nursing being a show. In this country, in the United States, I've never heard that. I've never been treated that way. I've never seen anyone treated anybody that way. The only issues I have with that I know that people treat nurses here is that sometimes people treat nurses as maids in the US. You feel less, especially when you work with maybe the rich white folks. Sometimes you feel that you feel like you are not appreciated enough. You feel like you're a second class citizen. That's the only thing I feel. about nursing here. But the being Olosho, no, I have never heard of that. Never. Nurses are not perceived like that in the United States. Especially when you have a bachelor's degree a lot of nurses I know have bachelors, have masters. They are people look up to you. A lot of my friends are not nurses and they are not doctors. They respect me as a nurse. They look up to, they think I have a lot of money. That's the vibe I get from most people. When people see you, they say, you're a nurse. Wow, you must have money. That's what I get. I never get, I never get otherwise. Like I said, in Nigeria, growing up in Nigeria, I know that there was that stereotype. And my mom, because my mom was a nurse, my dad was a doctor, my mom always told me, I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a doctor. I don't want you to, because she feels like in Nigeria, people look down on nurses. No, doctors look down on nurses, something like that. That's the only thing. So in this country, nobody looks at nurses as Olosho. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
For me, I think this is the first time I'm hearing that about nurses.
Never
Because
heard.
back at home, what they say about nurses is that they are arrogant and they are
No,
rude.
back in Nigeria now, where the Olosho take start from. Oh.
Yes, that's the one
Let me
I know.
explain something to you. Nurses in
So
Nigeria are not well paid.
are not well paid also. So those are the ones
you
I've
have
heard about
beautiful
nurses in
women dressed
Nigeria.
in white, not well paid, and there are so many rich customers and clients. In America, how much do you want to give a nurse that she's not earning for herself?
I know.
You understand? But in Nigeria, it's not the same.
In America, nurses make well above average, compared to other degrees, and if you're a nurse, especially if you have a bachelor's degree in nursing, you will get a decent job. You'll be okay. You drive a nice car, you have a nice house, you'll be fine. So I don't know anyone. Like I said, I don't know anyone that really looks down on nurses here. I don't really know. They think we have more than we actually do. They look up to it to be like, wow, you have.
That is in America. In Nigeria, nurses generally don't earn good money in Nigeria.
Yes,
no.
That's true.
So when you have a job, now let me tell you why the Olosho tag came from Nigeria.
Okay.
You have a lady who's not earning well and works night shifts and has contact with a lot of men. What do you think the result will be?
But that the phrase, it takes two to tango now. It takes two to tango.
Okay,
And
my sister in pink, let me allow you to drink your milk and come home. My sister up there, because she's moving back and forth in the camera.
She can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes. Can you please leave the live so I can bring somebody else? Thank you so
Say
much
that
for
again?
coming.
Hello?
Yeah. Please leave because you are doing other things so I can bring somebody else to have the conversation.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you so much, sis. I'm going to bring you some other time.
Thank you.
All right.
How do I get it?
Just click on the star.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
That the X, click on the X on the top right.
On the top right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, leave. Yes.
Has it gone?
Yeah, she's gone now.
All right, so let's bring somebody else.
But how did they come up with this name calling for the nurses in Nigeria? Because
hello. How are you, brother? I've explained it to you.
Yeah.
Nurses are poorly paid in Nigeria.
Okay.
Even doctors are poorly paid in Nigeria
Right. So why are they picking on the nurses
because
for
nurses are
this
even
name?
poorer paid and they work longer hours and they're out at night. A bank marketer, you
Yeah.
see, you have to understand that
It could
any
be.
job that requires a woman to be out of the house overnight, you understand? Now you are alone, you are in the hospital with rich clients and you are not well paid. That is where that
Yeah.
I believe that's where because now since I small, now we don't dey hear this nurse gist. But you see, abroad it's different because there's dignity in labor.
Yes.
Nurses are respected in the USA, for instance, in the UK. You understand? I have many of my church members that are nurses, and apart from them doing well, they they don't seem beggarly. They don't seem you understand? Then there's also job security. There are also
Yeah.
job opportunities. A nurse loses her job in America, she gets another job. In Nigeria, you lose your job.
Almost immediately.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
you see, where the jobs are few and far between and poorly paid, a doctor who is your boss or your director in the hospital can help make or mar your career by sleeping with you.
True.
So you don't need to sleep with anyone in an American hospital as a nurse to get by. But in
Yeah,
Nigeria,
If you
sorry,
are caught, safe, no
sorry,
problem.
that
yes.
freeze. I want to add something to what you said just now. I'm a registered nurse and also registered a pediatric nurse. I live in Canada. So, concerning the one you talk about, the Nigerian doctors, what you are saying is true. I'm not exaggerating. I'm a male nurse, and most of us associate with all these MDs in the hospital. They are free with us, unlike how they are free with the female nurses. I can tell you for sure that getting a job in Lagos as a female is neither the MD asks you to sleep with or the nurse asks you to sleep with. It's the doctor asks you to sleep with.
Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. Network just messed up. It's not even up to 30 minutes yet. That was about 20 something minutes. I don't know what
Right.
happened. Where is the gentleman? Okay, he's back here. So the conversation is nurses are not Oloshos.
Yeah.
So let us take a look at this conversation. So, my brother, you were speaking. The conversation, what I said was Nursing is a very respectable profession in the US, in Canada, and in the UK. However, in Nigeria, because of the poor pay and because to get by, sometimes we find these nurses sleeping with directors in the hospital and with some of the rich clientele. And also because in Nigeria, any job that requires a woman to leave her house overnight is considered risky. So abroad, you don't have those handicaps. But what do I know? We've got a nurse in here who is a male nurse. So let's hear from you.
Okay, let me talk about the Nigerian part first. In Nigeria, getting a job as a nurse in Nigeria is so hard. Getting a job in a good hospital in Nigeria is so hard. It's very hard. So what most of the nurses do is to go and look for just all these private hospitals that they can easily get a job, which they might be paying them around 60, 80, 50,000. Understand? So most of the MDs, what they do normally before they can employ you, because they know you are desperate in need for a job, before they can employ you in Lagos. I'm talking in Lagos particular because I can testify. I've worked in a Lagos hospital. Yeah, I worked in 2 hospitals in Lagos before I came into Canada, so I can testify. Most of the MDs, they would like to sleep with you. The female nurse, they would like to sleep with you before they can employ you. Even if they employ you, they will keep disturbing you, keep pestering you, keep looking for means to just get you on top of the bed. That's just it.
Yeah. So it's an act of survivor.
Yes. So at times, most of the quack, let me use the word quack hospitals, or let me use the word quack hospital or quack nurse. Most of all these local hospitals in Ajegule and all that, they miss how most of them see quack nurses as if they're registered nurses, because those ones are easily given to the MDs in their office. You see most of them cooking for the MD. I've been in the hospital, yeah. Yeah, I got the hospital looks like a big hospital. It's one hospital in Ajegule, but I don't want to mention names here. So first of all, when I got employed in the hospital, I was thinking is a good hospital where I can gather experience. But while I started working, I noticed majority of the nurses over there are work nurses. But you see them, they dress neat and everything. You won't know that they are work nurses. So I started observing something, because mostly when we are in nursing school, during the experience at night, you always observe and checking on the. We are the one to take care of the female nurses in my
Unit?
in the school. Yeah, not like units, just like our colleagues. Understand? So most of the hospital, what they do, the doctors, they tend to oversend the nurses message. I'm talking about the quack nurses. You see most of the quack nurses coming in to cook for the doctor, preparing soup for the doctor, making of stew. But if you check very well, you notice that those are quack nurses. So most of them misinterpret them as registered nurses. Do you get? I think why they tag that nurses are Olosho, because they think all nurses are the same. I don't know if you get the fact. They think
So
all nurses are the same.
in other words, what you're saying is those nursing assistants, they are the ones who really fall for these gimmicks by their MDs, but not the
Yes.
nurses. Like the nurses are probably too educated or too enlightened to be involved in such. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Then in terms of registered nurses too, majority of them, I'll call you 98% of the hospitals in Lagos, mostly owned by the MD or managed by the MD. Before they can employ you as a nurse, they must ask you. Even if they employ you without asking for something, at the long run, they will start looking for means to get you laid. I'm telling you the fact. If you can bring any Nigerian nurse that most of them, sometimes they do complain to me that, guy, look at to see what this MD is asking. After he employed me, he said he's gonna increase my salary. He said let's go out. He said I should go and visit him. All this and all that. Why you're registered nurse? They think, okay, maybe you're in desperate of the job and you need money. they will try to increase your salary. Not like everybody's salary, they will just come private to you that they're going to be paying you this so amount. That look at what they're paying others, they're going to increase your salary so that they can get what they want from you. And
Well,
majority,
this thing
yeah,
shine. This thing.
and majority of the doctors, most of them they talk a lot. Like we, the male nurses, we hang out with all these doctors. Understand? Sometimes when we are free, all of us hang out. I know most men, whenever they are drunk, they start talking every nonsense, all the things they've been doing. So most times they talk it, they say it as a joke, but we see some meanings into it. Do you get? Most of all these doctors, most especially the medical officers, because they are the ones that easily get all these young girls. Because when they call, nurses, they rate doctors as if they earn times three of their salary in Nigeria. So they value them a lot. Understand? Because of how nursing council downgraded nursing. That's the reason why it's like this in Nigeria. But talking about over here in Canada, I don't think any nurse has that time. Even the night shifts. At night shifts, sometimes you take night shifts are less busy, but sometimes it tends to be more hectic more than the day shift. So anybody saying that nurses, or maybe if the person has promiscuity in her blood, she can lie to the husband or lie to the spouse that she's going for a night shift while she's going somewhere else. But if actually she's coming to work, I don't think nobody has the time to. You don't even have time for your phone.
Yeah. And if you are even caught, that's another problem.
Because camera is everywhere watching you. If you are caught on duty pressing your phone, that is an issue.
It's another problem for you.
Yeah. So over here, nurses over here don't have time for all those nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, I know nurses. I have a lot of them. My friends from Nigeria that are here now, most of them, they are nurses and they are doing well for themselves. They are personally, I respect them a lot because of the work they put in and how they carry themselves also in public and how they act. So I respect them a lot. I've never heard anything like, oh, nurses abroad are rude and all those things. So going back home, like Daddy Free says, they are poorly paid and they don't even have, if you see their office self or their standard of living, you'll be wondering why did they even study for nursing. Like my sister's friend who actually studied nursing, she's not doing it right now because she got a job somewhere and they offered to pay her 40,000 naira. That was what they offered to pay, and she said there's no need doing it. So right now she's actually doing something else. So I just wish they could make the standard of living for these people better, so that way they don't need to look out for to do all these other things to be able to meet up with life's expectations. And the doctors also, they are also culprits in this because most times they'll be the ones to say, if you don't do this, I won't do this. Just imagine if that my sister's friend has a family or somebody that was depending on her. I believe she would have wanted to take the job. She did the job for like 1 month or so, and they even were owing her salary. Yeah, she did it for 1 month. Before they paid her was like almost the ending of the second month. So as she just got that money, she just left. So maybe if she had responsibilities like maybe house rent and all those kind of bills, all those kind of pressure is something that would make people do that kind of things, just like you said, unless the person normally like that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, but the hospitals in Lagos is far more better. Let me talk about in the east because I'm from Igbo. I came from the east. So the hospitals in the east, you can barely see a registered nurse that is being paid, apart from federal medical hospitals and the teaching hospitals. If it's any other hospital like private hospitals, you hardly see a registered nurse earning above 30,000. It's very hard. Before you can earn above 30 to 40,000, you must have worked in the hospital for like 5 years above. So the ones in Lagos, the ones in Lagos, they earn more. I think sometimes you can see RN in Lagos earning above 100,000. Double qualified and degree nurses, sometimes they earn 150 to 200 as a beginner. Yeah, but in the east, you can barely, no one will pay you above 40,000 in the east as a registered nurse. So majority of them will be like, oh, I'm earning 30,000 in a week. and this doctor is looking fine, bringing an offer that you be like, oh, let me just do it and go my way. But over here in Lagos, most of the private hospitals in Lagos, most of their MDs that are corporate.
Hmm.
Most of
Most
the
of
MDs
them.
in Lagos. Yes, majority of them.
I even hear now that some doctors are even the ones training these auxiliary nurses. So they
Yeah,
would train you to. Man, Nigeria, I don't know the sector that is actually working in Nigeria, Sha, but that health sector is something that like they need to look into and see how to make life better for these people, because most times is I think it's still one of the reasons why some of them can be very, very careless, like they don't care about their patients because they are not paying them enough to really give the care that we expect them to give, you know. But then we still have some very good ones and some very hardworking ones, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that sometimes people need to survive, and so sometimes they do whatever it takes for them to survive is what they will do. And most of these hospitals, they also have rich or wealthy patients that will come in smelling all good, you know. So those ones, I know one thing the nurses would really do is like favoritism. When they see that this guy has money, probably he came to the facility with a driver and all those things, they will give you special care, take care of you specially, because perhaps when you are leaving, you give them tips, you know, you give them money when
yeah,
you when
yeah.
when they are
I
leaving.
can testify to that. Most of the big hospitals in the islands, in the islands, celebrities they come to the hospital to take treatment. You see, most of them once maybe a celebrity relative is being admitted in the hospital, you see the nurses working above their
All
job
attention
description.
will be on that
Yeah,
person.
all the above their job description. You see that giving extra care. You will not be like, wait, oh, is it not this nurse that even hardly work, that is a lazy type, that is giving this preferential treatment to this particular patient? Yeah, some
Celeb.
nurses I can't lie, some nurses are like that. Whenever they see that you're a celebrity, you're looking fine, you're looking fresh. I mean, sometimes majority of them, if a celebrity visits the relative in the hospital, you see most of them bringing out phone. They're on duty, bringing out phone to take picture with the celebrity, which is wrong.
Hmm.
So I think,
The risk
yeah,
of it.
it's like that. It's like that in Nigeria.
Yeah, I
It's
think
like that in
all the
Nigeria.
sectors in Nigeria, I think we need an overhaul of
No, no, no.
almost all the sectors in Nigeria, because sometimes I can't blame these people because they are trying to survive. You understand? It's not like
Hmm.
I'm supporting it, but sometimes you can't really fault them because they are trying to survive. Imagine maybe you have kids now. You are a male pediatrician, you have kids, you are living in that condition, you are married, you know, you wouldn't mind if somebody is saying one thing, you know, you just say, after all, not be just this, you know, let me just do it. Before you know, it becomes an habit that you find it difficult, you know, to
To rid
live.
yourself
So
of.
if they can just do better with them, I don't know. Personally, I didn't have any issue with any nurse. I would even say like General Hospital that was in Delta State. One of them was where I always went for my antenatal. Even though I will not be having my baby there, I would always go there, and I enjoyed the nurses there. I would say that I enjoyed the nurses there, as they were mostly matrons, like these older ones. So that was why I don't really get this experience of saying nurses now on the show. But I know, say that high service thing, they tend to do it when they see that you can give them something, you know, when you
Yeah,
are leaving,
the high rate
you
is
know.
on private hospitals, not like federal or state hospitals.
Even
It's on
even
private. Yeah,
even local hospitals, that high service is there too. Even
Hmm.
what in there they call those normal general hospital, that high
yeah,
service is there. Get the way
yeah.
you take home. They go no say, oh, this auntie, oh, something. They'll be take, oh, have you taken your this? You have your this, you know, those kind of things. Yeah.
Yes,
But I
yes.
never saw
High
that light
service.
of, yes, that high service thing is there, but I never saw that other Olosho side of them. And we can't take what they do from them. They are doing well and they are trying to survive. That if please don't tell me I'm making an excuse for bad habits, but I just feel they are trying to survive. You know, so any extra money they want to get from anywhere, they don't mind getting it. So
Hmm.
each its own.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is the reason why they tag nurses as Olosho, because of this kind of attitude. And most guys, some men can talk. Some men, they even if you do something with them secretly, they open their mouth and talk.
Yeah,
Yes,
they'll go out and they'll say it.
by the way, that
And I think doctors do that a lot. I think doctors do that a lot.
doctors do that a lot. Whenever
I
they
think they
go
do that
for
a lot.
gatherings or whenever they are high, they start spilling alpha. They will start telling you how many nurses that have slept in their hospitals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Doctors
do
Which
that
is
a
do that.
lot.
bad on the part of
Mostly
anybody that sleeps
the
with a
medical
woman.
officers.
Anybody that
Because
sleeps with
sometimes most
anybody
of the
and
big,
goes to
most
tell,
of the top
that's bad
surgeons,
behavior.
they hardly discuss
We need to
such
address
in our
that.
midst. It's all these medical officers that can easily open up because there's still young guys in the settings. You dig it?
Yes.
So, and two, NMCN Nigeria is not helping matters. It's not helping matters at all, at all. You know, those people at the top, I think I will call it jealousy because once they see that nurses are migrating to UK, to the US, and all of them are making it, so they'll be like, okay, I've been working as a nurse, and since I've been working as a nurse for 40 years, 50 years, and I'm not making so much money these nurses make abroad. That's why they released the circular. I think that should be on
That you guys should not
January.
migrate again without serving your country for how
Yeah, that
many
you have
years?
to work. You have to work for 2 years. In which hospital? Let me tell you, to be sincere, no matter the experience, I don't think there is no hospital in Nigeria that is up to standard. I won't lie to you. Some hospitals will coach you. There are some hospitals you work. I can call names. There are some hospitals you work, like hospital like Evercare. If you work in Evercare, you have a good knowledge on what to do whenever you migrate, whenever you travel outside the country. Understand? But they are not up to standard to hospitals here, over here. You still need to undergo some training before you can be perfect. Even if you have worked for 20 years in one of the best hospitals in Nigeria, you still need some training here to be perfect.
I think that I'll blame that on the difference in system, not necessarily the particular hospital.
Yeah,
The
because
system is
the reason why I'm saying this is the NMCA Nigeria, how they say you must work for 2 years before you can apply for verification and all that, because they're making things so hard for everybody. They increased the price from, I think it should be 120,000 or so to 200,000. Which nurses earn 200,000 per salary? It's very hard. No nurse at least the before even the nurses, most of them, and they're rushing. You see a job, maybe they increased salary to 70,000. All the nurses will be like, no, maybe let me say the salary is 70,000. They want to protest for increments. You see some people go at the back and collect that money. That is one thing with nurses. That is one issue I'm always having with nurses. During my school days, that is the same issue. They will increase the school fees instead of the student to gather and maybe protest and make complaint. Somebody, all those people that claim they have rich parents or they have money, they will go and pay at the back. Why? Making things difficult for others. If they say let nurses go for a strike, you see some nurses, they'll be like, no, why am I going for a strike? The strike doesn't matter in Nigeria. Whether you go for strike or you protest, it doesn't matter. Most of them are like that. So nurses, they don't work in unison. Nurses don't work in unison. That is the problem they have in Nigeria. That's why they can be easily be manipulated. Yes. These protests that are going because of the circular they released in January, don't be surprised. Some people that have already started paying for the verification. Some people have started paying the 200K for the verification. So that is the issue with Nigerian nurses. They don't agree to they don't agree to work hand in hand. So that is the issue with Nigerian nurses. But I think that circular, they have to do something about it because it's going to affect verification. If you want to write NCLEX in the US, it doesn't take more than 48 hours before they will reply you. Then why will it take 6 months for Nigeria to now do their own evaluation and all that? Is too poor, too wrong. Initially, it used to be within 1 month and 3 months, but now the 6 months is too much. So I think they need to do something. If had it been the Nigerian system, health system is good, no nurses would like to migrate abroad.
To Japan, yes.
Yeah. The workload over here is, you can't compare with the one in Nigeria. There is so much workload over here. You see a nurse taking care of 12 patients at once.
Let me hear my sister, Eve. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Oh, well, like I said earlier, I feel like it's only in Nigeria that nurses that call that stereotype. Like here, like I said, I've been a nurse for 17 years, and I've never heard anything like that. Nurses are well respected. Uh, I think the Olosho. It's not only nurses in Nigeria that people call Olosho. I feel like most Nigerian women, whatever their career is, profession, yes. Bankers in Nigerians are called Olosho. Teachers, students, everybody. I think it's
But you say that banker
it's just
own, that
Nigerian
banker
narrative.
own, they different too.
Huh?
That banker own, they different. Mo, they tell
Why is
ourselves.
it
Okay,
different than the phrase? Is it not the same business?
No, in Nigeria, you see, let me tell you something here. I'm sharing personal experiences here. I've had a guy who went into a bank and saw a pretty lady and now start to call up his account balance for him. That time, I'm talking about 2010. The guy had 300 and something million in his account, which was the equivalent of about $2,000. I mean, $2 million. The girl body just begin change. In sleep with the girl. They are giving bank marketers are giving unreasonable targets.
Tax, yes, true.
So you have a target, they're going to sack you at the end of the month if you don't meet your target, and then you meet an allergy that says, no problem. Maybe you want me to deposit 100 million. I will deposit it. These are my terms. You see, abroad, you don't have these unreasonable,
Targets.
unrealistic things. In Nigeria, even the way they dress is to come and say, why don't they hire ugly girls to do marketing? All the girls will be fine. They all wear short dress, high shoe.
Zenith Bank used to be at the
Don't
top of this
mention any
list before
bank,
now.
please. Don't mention any bank. I don't know any bank. What happened?
Let me tell them mistake.
Eve, let me hear you.
yeah,
What are your thoughts?
yeah. Like I said, it's a very common narrative in Nigeria for men, to call women Olosho. Anyways, so it's
How long have you
it's
been?
not
How long have you been a nurse for?
for 17 years.
And abroad, you've never had that.
Never, never, never. People look up to you. They respect you for being a nurse. So I don't. And I've never even heard of it. I've never even heard of it from other people.
Yeah, I think in Nigeria.
All right, we have somebody. Bro, you want me to bring you on, but you're in a noisy place. Okay, let's hear him.
Hey, Dr. Prince.
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I have to step out. I'm in a place like that. There are like 20 Nigerians here. I just came to join them. We were just having fun, and I was watching your program.
Okay, brother.
So, I am a veteran nurse myself. I used to do bedside, but I'm a doctor now. I have a DMP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I do mental health. I mean, the thing about nursing in the United States is that there are different versions. There are different departments that you can work, and each of them offer different opportunities. Some people, when they graduate, they work in hospitals. Some people work in schools. Some people work in nursing homes. Some people do home health, where they visit people at home and take care of people who are sick. Some people do case management. Like, it's very diverse. The thing is that a lot of people think it's just for you to go to hospital and get a job. No, it's more than that. And work is usually 12 hours, especially in this part of the U.S. I'm in Washington, D.C. area. Usually 12 hours a day, and you work for 3 days. That is 36 hours, and you are off for 4 days. Except you want to be doing overtime. Most times when they say the work is stressful or you work a lot, is because people want to do a lot of overtime and make more money. But if you just want to do your basic full-time job, you're going to work for 12 hours a day and 3 days in a week, and you are off for a whole 4 days. So when people say, oh, you are overworking, you are not resting, or it's stressful, it's actually it's your choice. If you want to make all the money, or you decide to buy a big house and you have a mortgage that you cannot afford, and you want to drive a Range Rover or a G-Wagon, and you have a car note that you cannot afford, that's when you are going to be working like 6 days a week and have no rest. But if you know what you are doing, you don't really have to overwork yourself like that. It's a good profession. A lot of Nigerians go into nursing when they come to the US because it's one thing that you are sure that you're going to get a job.
Yeah.
And you can always change jobs. Like for the past 3 years, I became a nurse practitioner 2 years ago, and I got my doctorate late last year. But I can still go into hospital if I need small change. I can still go into I actually have a staffing agency, so I can pick up a shift through my staffing agency. I go work a couple of shifts. I can make extra money. So that's up to me. But if you don't want to do all that, you can just work your basic 36 hours a week, and you will be fine. In most places, 36 hours a week, you probably give you about $2,000 after taxes. So that's $8,000 a month. So that's good enough. You probably have, if you are renting, you're probably paying $2,000 in rent, maybe another $1,000 in bills. So you have about $5,000 to do whatever you're doing. So I see a lot of people saying it's stressful, it's this. Like I said, it's if you want to do past yourself. So that's my submission.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys.
What you're saying is correct. That's why most of the nurses, if you see them, majority of them don't like working in the hospital. They prefer to work in a home care setting because home care has less workload. Understand? LPN in Canada here ends on double shifts, working for 16 hours a day. They can make $1,000 after tax deduction.
Yes. So
in a day, just
during COVID, that is phrase. During COVID, we were doing a job. It's overkill, right? I was doing during COVID, I was doing double shift. I was working in like a nursing home. I was doing double shift. That's 16 hours a day. I was doing that for 5 days a week. That's 40 hours of full time, 40 hours of overtime. And I was making about 7,500 every week. Every Friday, I make 7,500. And I did that consistently in one facility for like 6 months. So that's a lot of money. I had some projects in Nigeria I was doing then, and I had to do that. I call it beast mode. I have to enter that beast mode and do that to be able to finish all the projects I was doing. So it's a choice. When people say, oh, you can't sleep, you are always working, blah, 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 it's a choice. You can just work your basic 40 hours. Like white folks that I work with, they rarely work overtime. They rarely work overtime. And they live a better quality of life than we do. Because they don't have any family somewhere to send money to. That's the difference. They don't have
it's called the black tax. Anyway, guys, lovely hanging out with you this beautiful morning.
The reason why foreigners work as much as we do is because of the people back home. Really, we can live. If we don't have to send money to 1,000 people in our villages, You know, we won't have to work so hard like that. We will have a better quality of life. And I was gonna say that the reason why most foreigners, maybe Nigerians, why we go into nursing is because, like they said, there's jobs. You have 3, 4, 5 jobs. But I think the most important reason why we do is because people don't really discriminate when it comes to healthcare, because like in America, they are short of nurses. There's a high shortage of nurses. So they don't even care if you can speak English or not. As long as you can communicate the needs of the patient, you will be hired. But imagine if you want to be a manager of a company.
All right, guys.
I have this accent, you know? They won't hire me.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. I need to run now.
That is freeze.
Uh-huh.